And we are joined now by the chair of the Republican Party, Reince Priebus. Mr. Priebus, thank you for joining us this morning. You just heard John Podesta right there. Our poll has it a 5-point lead for Hillary Clinton. New NBC poll out this morning, 4-point lead for Hillary Clinton. Are you fighting from behind?
No, I don't think we're fighting from behind. We've got the momentum, George. I mean, that's the difference in this election. You know, when you can close and get stronger and stronger to the finish line, you know more than anyone, momentum is everything you need. And there's no question that over the last week and a half, Donald Trump has had an enormous amount of momentum. It's helping, obviously, his chances, and it's also helping all those senators out there that are running. So we feel good. And we think that the American people are finding out that, in fact, Hillary Clinton is crooked and that she has potentially broken the law. And I just heard the interview about, you know, how can Hillary Clinton heal? Well, she's going to have a hard time healing the country because, number one, she's not going to win. But number two, even if she does, she may have committed crimes. So, I mean, it's hard to heal a country.
The only conclusion we've had from the FBI director so far is that no reasonable person would have prosecuted.
Right, that's their conclusion so far, but they're also actively reviewing 650,000 emails, and I can assure you that, you know, we already know that some of them are not duplicative. 650,000 emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop suddenly show up about a month ago. The investigation is continuing. And look, I think the American people have serious concerns about it. I would, and I think most people do, and they think that obviously this is going to be a big liability for her.
Going forward, as in these final 48 hours, you're obviously making a big play in Michigan. It seems like Donald Trump has turned away from your home state of Wisconsin. What's going on in Michigan right now, and what is the blue state in the upper Midwest where you have the best chance of winning?
Well, he hasn't turned away from Wisconsin, George. Mike Pence was there yesterday campaigning with Paul Ryan. It's even possible he would go back to Wisconsin tomorrow. So, I mean, I just want to put that out there. But as far as Michigan is concerned, I mean, we have to look at our data. And we go in with 3,000 samples a night. It matches public polling. That's an absolute toss-up. And so when you look at a place like Michigan where jobs have gone to Mexico and China, people are out of work and people want things to get better, I think Donald Trump is offering that vision for the state of Michigan. And we win a state like Michigan, and as you know, it's all over. If I would have told you a year ago that we have a candidate that can win Florida, Ohio, and Michigan, we would say that's a candidate that's going to win. So I think it's a great opportunity for us.
Well, you slipped something else in there that I think is significant. You're right, Michigan is significant, but Florida perhaps even more. And you've seen that Latino surge down in Florida right now. The Democrats seem confident about that, and they are breaking records with this early vote of Latinos likely to break against Mr. Trump.
Yeah, but what you're not saying, and I know you're not doing it on purpose, but there are 75,000 votes behind on party registration votes and early vote in Florida today than they were 4 years ago. So they're actually, you know, here's the thing, they're behind where they were 4 years ago. We lost Florida by 75,000 votes 4 years ago. There's 75,000 votes behind today. And so the same thing in North Carolina. They're about 100,000 votes behind in North Carolina than where they were 4 years ago. We went into Election Day, George, in North Carolina 4 years ago, down by 455,000 votes. We won North Carolina. So everyone out there needs to understand that the early vote issue can only tell you so much. You've got to look beyond the numbers. Look at Iowa. We're behind in Iowa today in early vote. No one actually thinks we're going to lose Iowa, but we're way ahead of where we were 4 years ago. We're ahead by 70,000 votes in Ohio today. So, you know, when they're concentrating on Cleveland 2 days before Tuesday, they're not expanding the map in Ohio, I can assure you. Their game plan has to be lock down Cleveland, then expand through Ohio. That's not what they're doing, George.
Ohio has been a tougher state for them this time, no question about that. In Nevada, Donald Trump says that the signs from the early vote are that that state is rigged. Do you believe that?
Well, look, you know that we're bound by a consent decree, George, so I'm not much fun on that subject because we're under court order from 1983. So it's an old case, and that's Donald Trump's campaign that would be looking into something like that, not the RNC. But we want to make it easy to vote for everybody. We want to make it something that everyone can participate in. We feel good that we're ahead of our pace in Nevada as well. But look, you know, look at Colorado. George. I don't think people are talking about it today, but we're 17 votes ahead in an all-mail-in state in Colorado today. It is a jump ball in Colorado. So there are lots of pathways to getting to 270.
If it doesn't turn out your way, we're still waiting to see. Donald Trump says he'll take a look at what happens on Tuesday and decide whether or not to concede if indeed the votes are going against him. Right now, a lot of the questions he's raised are starting to affect Republican voters as well. About a quarter, according to recent polls, say that they're not going to accept the results. If Donald Trump loses on Tuesday, will you go out and tell Republicans that they should accept the results?
Well, I think barring some sort of, year 2000 type of an election, sure. I mean, if it's clear, then obviously that would be the case. But I think what Donald Trump is talking about is simply not, number one, no one is going to concede anything. Hillary Clinton wouldn't concede anything. Donald Trump wouldn't concede anything. But also, you wouldn't forego a legitimate recount opportunity like you had in 2000, days before an election. So I think that's really the issue. And
so
I think
you
the
believe
bigger
he'll
issue for
accept a
Donald
clear
Trump
result?
is that I do. And I think that the big issue, though, for Donald Trump is, not you, but generally, there's a huge media pylon. And it took, obviously, a big toll, I think, on the election, this total and complete obsession with every transgression and every quote from the last 30 years of Donald Trump, when we have another candidate that has totally, using John Podesta and his team's words, screwed up everything that she's ever touched. And you look at Russia, you look at Libya, you look at Benghazi, you look at her emails, you look at the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Inc. Harry Truman said that the only way a politician can get rich is by being crooked.
I think both sides
I don't know how Hillary...
I think both sides would say that they've been subjected to unfair media during this election. I can assure you of that. Look at the alternative. If indeed Donald Trump does win...
I don't know too many people that have bleached computers and taken hatchets to BlackBerries and deleted 33,000 emails while Secretary of State.
You're just throwing out a lot of words there. It doesn't counter the conclusion of James Comey that no reasonable prosecutor would bring this case. But let me ask you about the
but that was in June, George. But that was in June. What did he say last week? He said that the emails that he's reviewing that found on Anthony Weiner's laptop could be pertinent.
But everything you were just talking about happened.
Investigation.
Everything you were just talking about happened before June.
She's sold her position as Secretary of State to put money in her pocket and Bill Clinton's pocket. Something's not right. Come on. It's not normal behavior, George. You know that. I'm saying something that average, normal people would listen to and say, it doesn't seem right that you made $250 million a few years after leaving public office. It's bizarre.
Final question. If Donald Trump wins, are you going to join him in the White House?
No one's talking about that, George. I'm running the party, and I love the job.
Reince Priebus, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.